Welcome to War Journal, Flames of War. And this podcast is our thoughts and discussions about the Flames of War games and other related interests. This episode is brought to you by Tracy George and Chaos Magic. We are not claiming to be experts of the game, but just wanted to have a casual conversation about Flames of War. Without any further delay, we now make our advance onto the podcast. And here are your hosts, Tracy and Arthur.
This is Tracy.
And I'm Arthur.
Welcome to War Journal, Flames of War, Episode 10, The Fox. What's on tap for today's episode, Arthur?
Well, we have 7 topics of discussion. We start with another round at discussing news on Battlefront's homepage that includes their new book, Berlin. For Keep Your Enemies Close, we take a look at a speedy U.S. tank. We go over an interesting rule in That's New. In National Tactics, we discuss an Italian rule. We review an older movie that we both have seen in Recon. We continue discussing the Art of War in Sun Tzu. And we end with us reviewing 5 board games that we both played in the last 2 weeks.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Battlefront Front Page news.
Alright, so looking at the website, we have Fate of a Nation, which I'm not interested in. No, when they get the Pacific and the Cold War, then I'll look more at what's happening there.
Yeah, for right now, I don't think I want to invest in that.
Yep.
Even though it's tempting with that 40% off.
Less than 2 weeks left. Yeah. Now, this won't apply to me too much. Well, I do have some Russia, but the Berlin book.
Yes, they released a Berlin book, and
It looks like they said this week we preview, so it looks like it still hasn't come out. I don't know.
okay.
I'm just reading what it says here. So
Like their podcasts and the blogs all talk about the Berlin book.
okay,
And on the blog, I read the one about Germans,
of course.
and, and I've also listened to their podcast, was entirely on the Berlin book.
Mm-hmm.
It was also interesting, the first part of it, they have an interview with Wayne Turner, the person who wrote the book.
Okay.
And it has a lot of interesting things about what he said, like one of the things he's working on, and he mentioned that there's like one more late war item he's working on.
Oh, really?
Otherwise, the Berlin book might be the last late war stuff.
Well, I think they need to do some more mid-war.
Yeah.
People are kind of like plus and minus on that because they're like, we want more stuff from mid-war, but we don't want you to screw it up. That's kind of what I'm hearing from people, because it seems like some people think it's pretty balanced and stuff, but man, we want some more stuff, but we're afraid that it's just going to start imbalancing things. So. But I want some more mid-war.
But I definitely want the Berlin book, just from listening to everything's in there.
Well, I might look at it for, of course, I hardly ever play with my Soviets.
One thing, it sounds like the Soviet list in there is more of an elite army than your traditional war Soviets. So that,
yeah, then I'll have to look at it. Maybe this will get me more interested in playing Soviets.
I definitely want to pick it up because it only has one list for Germans, but that list is so good and so many options.
Have you ever looked at the Desperate Measures list? Oh yeah, that's one of the first lists you played because you had so many.
Oh.
It's almost like my U.S. Infantry Second Infantry Division. Where I had all these choices, and that one had like tank. Which type of tank did you want? Boop, I'll take this one.
Yeah, this is like you can almost have the entire range of like, do I want confident veterans? Do I want confident train? It also got a lot of new vehicles. Like one of the vehicles is a vehicle with 6 Panzer Faust. Yeah, I think you might be able to move and fire, but it's like a rocket team where the next turn either I can not fire or I need to take a skill test to fire it again.
Oh, okay. It's basically got the rocket launcher rules.
Yeah, but still, like, that's. And they got pictures of the motto like that.
That is something different, though.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about how to take care of those.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like I said, like the Berlin book that's up for me, and the podcast and blogs go over it in quite detail. So I suggest listening to them, especially the interview with Wayne.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to do that. Does he talk about the Soviets?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll have to listen to it and see.
Like he talks about why he did things this way. He mentions like none of the list is auto defend, and he talks about why he did that. So yeah, it's had a lot of good stuff in there.
All right, well, I'll have to look at that on then. I didn't think I was going to, but I may have to now.
Yeah.
Okay, going on down. Oh, wow, I didn't know this. The colors were paint spray cans now.
Oh.
I just now noticed that. I thought it was just the normal colors like last time they were talking about it, but no, it's spray.
Yeah. Interesting. Getting some?
No.
Oh.
I normally just go to the hardware store and get what I want there. For my colors, I mean, my USA colors. Underneath that, we've got some updates for the digital, which is Red Bear and Gray Wolf. So you'd be interested in Gray Wolf. I would be interested in Red Bear. So we'll have to see what's up with that. I can't remember which one I was running. I think it was Red Bear I've been running my Soviets out of.
Yeah, I think that's like the only really list we had. There is.
Yeah.
Besides Berlin now.
Well, and then we head to, it looks like the dreaded part of Question of the Week.
Well, let's get this over with.
All right. So our first one, now that we're on, what, 74. And this is the one we've already answered. And this is which platoon can be assaulted by the lead platoon. So it had those two guns on it they could shoot, and which one can assault at. And choices were A, the infantry platoon, B, the anti-tank gun platoon, and C, both platoons. And both of us thought C. So we both thought the same thing on this one. So going down. Oh, I'll place this comment here since Joni forgot the same for the answers. Oh, C.
Yeah.
Okay, it was down below. Yay, we got it even though we didn't know. Well, we thought we knew. Because I just went process elimination like we tell our students is when you know a question is like, oh, this is totally wrong, mark it out and leave what's left. And I was like, why couldn't they assault the infantry platoon but not the anti-tank? Or why can they? And you were talking about the main gun, but I've never heard a rule about the main gun, so I kind of dismissed that one. But that was a good idea. You're like, well, maybe.
But then I didn't quite realize it had two main guns, and that's the first time I ever heard that rule until I looked it up and like, oh.
Oh, you looked. Oh, yeah, you looked up after.
Looked up the main gun rule. It didn't have this answer about. Had nothing about who you could assault. It just said rules for firing two main guns. That's what I looked up.
Because the normal rule is you can assault who you shot at, or if they're within 8 inches of it, platoon you shot at, you can assault. So, all right, so we got that one. All right, next one. Can a bogged down vehicle be concealed and or gone to ground? So A, it can be concealed. B, it can be gone to ground. C, only fully operational teams can be concealed and gone to ground. I'm going to choose, oh boy.
That's a toughie.
All right, I got my choice.
My choice is A.
Okay. I said C. Now, I agree with you. It can be concealed. Bogging down, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's the terrain. It's like gone to ground, but I was thinking like if they didn't move, they didn't shoot. But then again, you may be right about it being bogged down. So again, you said it can be concealed.
Yeah.
I said it can be concealed and or gone to ground. So let's see if the answer is down here. Answer is A and B. Ollie.
Oh, you dirty.
Oh, wait. Oh, do you know what? I messed up. I messed up on this. I didn't know only fully operate. I didn't catch the only fully operational. You heard my explanation. I thought that meant it could be concealed and or gone to ground. So if I would have done, I would have chose what you chose. If we can only choose one, I didn't know you can do more than one. So I would have picked A like you did if I knew we could do two. I would have picked both of them because that's kind of what I thought C was. I didn't realize it says only fully operational, even after reading it.
Yeah, I knew that was the thing about C. I knew it was that fully operational, and I realized, you should be able to be concealed.
Yeah, you can get concealed.
But I was not sure on the ground. So I was like, well, I know it's A, so I'll pick A.
Yep, so you eliminated the ones you... Okay, so
Well,
I got it right, but picked the wrong answer. How about that? All right, last one this week. This is question number... Which one is this?
76.
76. Okay. A veteran German anti-tank gun platoon is covered by an Allied smoke bombardment. A nearby scout platoon now successfully reveals this anti-tank gun platoon. I would now like to shoot at this platoon with my rifle machine gun armed infantry platoon before I send them in to assault the guns. What score is needed to hit the guns? So we got A, B, C, D, or E. So A, 3+, B, 4+, C, 5+, D, 6, E, more than 6.
I think I got my answer.
Hold on for just a second. Okay, I've got my choice.
Okay, I got C.
I went D. I don't think eyes and ears pulls smoke. I think it only pulls terrain concealment. Oh wait, it's gone to ground, isn't it? It pulls the gone to ground.
Yeah.
I don't think it pulls it from smoke though.
So
I don't know.
so how do you get to 6?
Concealed and gone to ground through shooting through the smoke.
Oh,
Because it starts at 4 for veteran. Concealed and gone to ground. I don't think it works on smoke. But I could be wrong.
I'm just on the ground.
Yeah, well, it says they're covered. Oh, it doesn't say, does it?
Then it said they gone on the ground.
Oh, but smoke gives you concealment and gone to ground.
Yeah, that's a rule I didn't know about.
I believe it does. Now I'm questioning myself on this one. It's been so while since I've played
So,
and thrown smoke at you.
so
Is the answer down there? Oh, next week. So we'll see. I'm not sure. The smoke is a tricky one because I know there's some things that it works for and some things it doesn't. And I know that if you assault through smoke, you lose the gone to ground, but you can still get concealment for when they defensive fire on you.
Oh well, so I'm 5+, you're 6, and we're gonna find out next time we.
Want to be 4+.
I don't think this is.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Keep your allies close, but keep your enemies closer.
All right. So this is going to be kind of strange because you've never faced these, and I've never played them, but I want to. And that is the Chaffee, which I have a picture here to show you. It's taken the place of the Stuart, the light tank.
Oh.
The little Stuart. So these took the place of the Stuarts. So they
So,
look, yeah.
are these it? Okay.
So they look like, kind of almost like the Pershing, like a shrunk down Pershing, if you look at it.
Really, really small barrel.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of the U.S. tanks look the same to me.
Yeah. So looking at what this can do, it's considered light tank. So it moves as a light tank. So it can go 16 inches. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a comparison between it and the Stuart that it replaced. So it's replacing a Stuart. So a Stuart's light tank. So they both move the same. Front armor 4. So they both have the same front armor. Side armor 2 and top armor 1. So they both have the same. They all have the usual 3 machine guns, except for the Chaffee has the 50 caliber AA machine gun, where the Stuart only has an AA machine gun, so it has a 30 caliber. So it has a little better anti-aircraft machine gun. So it's going to have, I think, that fire power of 5+ to take your planes out instead of 6. They both use the same gun. However, the Stuart can only shoot 24. It can shoot 32. So it shoots as far as a normal tank, moves 16 inches, doesn't have much armor. It's the normal Sherman gun, 2 shots, anti-tank 10, firepower 3+. They both have stabilizers, but the Chaffee also gets smoke. So the Chaffee is a Stuart with a better anti-aircraft machine gun, 8 inches more distance on a shooting, and with smoke.
Interesting. Oh.
Yeah, so I was looking at, like, it's in the Bridge and Remoggen book, and there's actually a light tank company.
Oh.
That is, you could just take Chafees.
A lot of them?
A lot. Well, I can take 12 just from my compulsory max. Then I could take another unit of them. So we're looking at, I could take 17 Chafees.
Yeah, that'd be good. Cause with that many, then the front armor doesn't mean that much.
Right.
And
that quickness.
Is that the quickness, the range of your guns?
Yeah, but
Fairly
a lot
strong.
of your stuff, that 10 anti-tank.
Mm.
Now, Stugs, yeah, I might be able to do something. I have to get on the side of your stuff. But with this many moving that fast,
yeah,
I mean, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, you have the power maneuverability. And with a top of 1, you're not that much worse than most tanks.
Oh,
anyway.
it's just normal. Yeah.
So,
well, let's look at it this way. Let's compare. If I was just looking in the same book, I could take a platoon of a tank company that's going to have the Shermans, M4A3 Shermans. So if I want to take 3 Shermans at, I don't want to do. I'm going to do confident veteran. I'm going to do those 2. So they're both confident veterans. For 3 Shermans, it's going to cost me 310 points.
for 4 tanks?
For 3.
For 3 tanks.
For the Chaffee, for 3 of those, 250. So that's 60 points cheaper. It's faster, but its armor's not as good on its front. Well, side also.
Yeah.
But you get a lot more. So let's compare, like, if I wanted to max out. Okay, let's go 5 Shermans, 515, 415 for 5 Chafees. So that's 100 points difference.
Yeah.
I don't see that as bad at all. You could take those, if you do 2 platoons, that's 200 points you could put somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's almost a whole nother Chaffee platoon. So I've been wanting to do this, but it's just getting the models and doing it.
Yeah. Like, I probably would only use those if you have, like, a ton of them. That way, it's like...
Right.
Because, like, most things I use, my guns just blow them up. But I don't have that many shots where you send that many tanks that fast at me.
And it's almost kind of getting to the Russian kind of level.
Without the bad Russian
Without
rules.
the hen and chick stuff, yeah. Now, it's not going to reach... I remember going against... Well, I can't remember how many tanks Mark sent against me. Gosh, it had to be around 40 Russian tanks, Soviet tanks coming against my... I won, but man, it was... You're like, how am I going to take these guys out? So you could still take these out. Because I found that it could happen, even though that person had...
It's just like, it takes a lot of firepower.
You know. So this is one I may proxy and just say all these Shermans are Chaffees. And just see what they're like. And then maybe that'll decide whether or not I want to go with that. And it's one of those things, I want to get a list and just stick with it. And this one's kind of been pulling me, but I haven't had the models to do it. And I've been kind of like...
Well, proxying doesn't really bother me, because outside the jumbo, your tanks just look the same to me.
Well, as long as you know all these Shermans are Chaffees.
Yeah.
So, I'll eventually, maybe next game, you know, actually now I'm tempted, the next game we play, I'm thinking about taking these Chaffees.
Well, next game I want to try to do the battle report.
Oh, that's true. So we're not going to.
So part of the game after that.
Okay. Well, we'll do that.
That's new.
All right. Here's the situation. We've got a Sherman that's assaulted your German infantry here.
Okay.
And it's going to do a counterattack. So it has to roll. It's successful. and it decides, you know what, I don't want to stay here. Where can it go?
With the tank?
Yeah.
Okay, so you attack me.
Right. And all your infantry are in, well, just going to keep it simple for the listeners. All the infantry in that platoon is in front of the Sherman.
Yeah, and it's after you kill a guy.
I assaulted, killed some guys, you counterattacked, did whatever. I rolled my counter assault, was successful. But I'm wanting to go, you know what, I don't want to stay in this battle anymore. So where can I go?
Is it 6 inches back or 4 inches back? I'll say 4 inches back.
All right. Actually, when you break, go ahead.
I'll say 4 inches back away.
When you break off, you do your normal movement rate.
Oh, okay.
And you don't even have to worry about, if I remember right, about terrain. You just go back. Now, one of the things is, this guy, normally you would have to break away from what you're wanting to do, but since you were successful, you can actually break through them and go on through.
Oh.
You just can't, you can't go within 4 inches of enemy team that's in line of sight. So if there's more guys back there that can block that passage through there, you can't go through. But if they're not, you can just keep going through these guys. So it's one way to try to get towards an objective. You can assault these guys, successful at your counterattack, and you're going, you know what, I don't want to counterattack, I want to break off. Boom, go through them, start heading towards the objective at your normal movement rate. Now, what would happen to this tank if it failed its motivation test to counterattack?
You probably break off backwards.
Yeah, he'd have to break away from him. Right. All right, so we did the tank. Jeep can't normally do, so it's not going. It wouldn't be any assault. We're going to pretend this is some other light vehicle. So what if it makes its motivation test to counter assault, and you're like, I don't want to. I want to break away.
Wouldn't think they would be able to break through.
Yep. So they could break through the enemy too. And if people are wondering, it's on page 166. All right, so now...
So they could break through.
Yeah.
Just like the tank.
Yep. Now, what about a gun team? So I have like a artillery piece here. Or it could be a machine gun team, for all we care. Okay, so we got a gun team. They made their counterattack roll, their motivation, and they decide, you know what, we want to get away from here.
I say they have to fall back.
Correct.
Because they're like, there's no way they can...
Okay.
I wasn't sure about them, but they're like...
Infantry team against infantry team. So now we got this infantry team that assaulted. They're rolling their counterattack. They decide, you know what, we want to break off. Where can they go?
I also say back.
You're correct. So the only ones that can, if they voluntarily make that, if they make the motivation, they voluntarily are tank teams. So again, tank teams just doesn't mean tanks. It's basically vehicles. It's like early in the book they talk about what are teams, and they talk about tank teams. And so if you fail your motivation test to break off, you can't do that. It's called break off through enemy.
Oh, okay.
So it could be a useful thing. You go with your tank, or if you get assaulted, it's like, oh, I need to do my motivation. Oh, I made it. You know what? I'm not going to stand this assault. I'm just going to run because my turn's next. I could see this as a really good. You can kind of like Sun Tzu. You can have this guy close enough that the person's going to want to come up assault. You know, most of your stuff's going to survive, and you go, oh, I'm going to roll my counter assault. Oh, you know what? I made my counter assault. I'm going to go through your guys towards the objective, land on the objective, and my turn's next turn. Instead of staying in the fight.
Yeah, and now I can shoot without moving, being on the objective.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So there is reasons you may want to break off instead of just staying in a battle.
Yeah, I don't ever think I've heard this rule before, so that's definitely nice to know.
This is your in-depth reporter, Tiger Sherman, from Military Times News, and our continuing coverage of national tactics.
All right, Arthur, what is the rule, the national rule you're going to give to me this time?
This time I'm going to talk about the Italian special rule, Avante, which is very similar to the German stormtrooper move, but it's during the shoot step instead of the assault step. So let me just read the rule. Any Italian platoon with the command team may attempt an Avante move at the start of the shooting step instead of shooting. If a platoon attempts an Avante move, it may not shoot, even if it fails the Avante move. Roll a skill test for each platoon. On a 4+, if the test is successful, the platoon may move another 4 inches. Otherwise, it cannot move this step. All the normal rules for applying to movement. They cannot do this if they're pinned down or moved at the double or bail out vehicles.
Wow.
So, I haven't used this play Italy that much, but that's an Avante rule. The one thing I love about them, it is so useful, especially when I'm like move, try to do that test, move another 4 inches. So that's 10 inches, and then assault another 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I got caught that one time.
Yeah.
Because I was like having to shoot your guy. God, you had 20-some guys out there I was trying to take out.
Oh,
and I thought I was far enough away. No. You came. The horde came to the tanks.
Oh yeah, that's why. Yeah, like I had 2 hordes. I'll just stand, and then I noticed you moved up. I'm like, I think you moved up too close. Are you within 14 inches? Yes, you are.
The problem is if in that situation, if you wouldn't have made your roll, you would have been stuck. Because you have to move first.
Yeah.
Then it's during the shooting step this happens, right?
Yeah. So yeah.
But still, wait. What do you need to roll? I think it was really good. It was like 3, wasn't it? Or 2 or?
Oh no, for that.
What kind of test is it?
It's a skill test. For that team, it would have been 4
Or
or 5.
I think it would have been probably 4.
4 or 5, because those were like not great guys. But like my parachute troopers, they were probably like 3+, because they're fearless veterans. But even then, it's just like I have so many of them. I'm just like, well, bring your firepower.
I was thinking this is better than the Germans, but I'm kind of torn between them because if you fail, they don't get to do it. They don't even get to shoot. They don't get to do anything. Or at least the Germans, you could shoot with them. Well, then if you don't assault, I guess you don't get. You'd only go 10 inches at the most with them.
If there's another unit close enough to assault, they can still assault.
Right.
But if it was like, if you have a guy here, but I want to assault them, and try to get a little farther. But if I fail that, I can still assault.
Yeah.
But yeah, Germans is really good for like moving someplace, shooting, and then moving back into cover. So.
Right.
But they're just good to just get on top of you.
Yeah,
and
you have so many guys coming.
Well, with that list, like of the 2 lists, I much more prefer the parachute guys, which are a lot smaller and fearless veterans, and they don't have a lot of vehicles.
Yeah, you still beat me. I remember that game. I
Yeah.
remember that game. You still beat me. I kept pinning those veterans down, but you kept unpinning them,
Yeah.
and they kept just marching forward.
I also lost a unit because of, like, I was planning on taking out a bunch of your tanks, and I failed the Avante roll. So they were just stuck right in front of your tank, 6 inches away. Because they had the bombs, so they could get on you and then kill your tanks on a 3 or 4+.
Oh, that's right.
Of course, on a 1 they kill themselves, but still.
Yeah.
But, yep, I really like that rule, and that's primary reason I like playing with Italy.
Yeah, saying you get 14-inch assault range basically instead of normal 10.
Yeah, it's like when you play against them, you gotta always keep that in mind, because
they won't be slowed down by terrain either, being infantry.
Nope.
Where your vehicles and gun teams and all that could possibly, well, not your man pack, but your other gun teams could possibly be slowed down.
Yeah, I haven't used a lot of Italy vehicles, so I don't know what kind of used to be for Avante for vehicles.
Well, you did have that one tank you thought sucked, but it helped you win the game.
Oh yeah, it's like I don't expect much from these guys. Just shoot and like, wow, it killed more than anything else.
I think it was like, was it a glass cannon?
Yeah, it was like 100 points, or I think 150, 250 points for 5 tanks.
Not much. So it's almost like the Chaffee, but with a better gun. Because you had very low armor, but man,
Yeah.
I think they had a really good anti-tank.
Uh,
Because it was like the, I think it was like the Matildas or something like that I was taking with, in the list I had. Was the same situation. Had a really good gun, but its armor wasn't that great.
let's see there. No, anti-tank 4 plus firepower. I think I just used it to kill infantry.
Yeah. Oh, I may be thinking the other thing I targeted. You got kind of frustrated because that's
Yeah.
I just pounded everything on those guys because they were things
yeah.
that could take out my Shermans real
Yeah,
quick.
before I can use them. That was, but yeah, I couldn't even fire. The main gun never fired because I couldn't fire it because if you move the tank, you can't fire the main gun.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah, it's an awful tank.
Well, it's a good tank, then that's good to take out infantry. Then okay. And you can,
It's also a slow tank.
oh, 8 inches. I was about to say you can rush to the objective, but then you threw in it's a slow tank, so it's 8 inches of movement.
Yeah, so yeah.
So basically, Italy doesn't have very good tanks, do they?
No.
But what you had helped you win the game.
Yeah, it's pretty much the machine guns because I moved to fire machine guns and machine guns took infantry guys out. So to my surprise.
Well, they were in the woods. All right. Well, I just got to remember if you're running those guys, I don't put my Shermans that close, or anybody else.
Yeah.
It's hard though, especially if your range is only 16 inches.
Yeah. You got to remember, it's like, if you're in danger, if you don't want to be assaulted, remember, Italy could assault a long ways away.
All right, soldier, at ease. What is it?
Sir, I just got the recon report in. There's some interesting developments in it. The report says...
All right. So I saw this movie a little while back, but you just recently saw it, and that was The Desert Fox: The Story of Rommel, which was made in 1951, about 88 minutes. It was black and white and starred James Mason. So what were your thoughts on it?
He played Rommel as a very charismatic guy, interesting. I really liked him. And Hitler was an idiot.
Yeah. Well, I think this was based off, like what they said in the movie, it was based off the writings of that British officer
Yeah.
who did research on him. So that it's based off that book he wrote.
Mm.
So I expect there's probably some, like you saw how much he respected him. So there's probably some of that came into play, maybe some biases.
Possibly. Yeah, like, I kind of heard about how noble he was in following the rules of war. It
Right.
was like the first thing in the movie, because the officer got captured, and one German officer wanted him to call in his superiors and tell him to stop doing this. And he's like, nope, that's against the rules of war. Like, and then the guy was going to threat him, and then Rommel called him over. It's like, yep, never mind. That was like the British guy's first introduction to Rommel.
Now, was this also one that had, because it's been a little while since I've seen it, that they were, Rommel was sitting at his desk and brought one of the guys they've captured in, and we're going to talk to him, and the captured guy started talking about the Jews being killed and stuff like that, and Rommel got upset saying, we're not talking politics, we're talking man to man about war.
Not like that. There was a time when his friend was trying to get him to be a part of the plot against Hitler, and he kept saying I'm not a politician. I'm just a soldier.
Okay, because I was thinking about that. I was like, well, maybe then what you're kind of hitting on where, he was a soldier, because that's somebody else's story then that's saying about the same thing, kind of what you were just saying then. So maybe he was that type of person then. Maybe the writer here wasn't being biased in favor towards Rommel, but was being truthful about that part of it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of things about Rommel. Like, one of the things I've heard was, like, around the time that Hitler was given the order to execute the Jews, like, he told, like, all his soldiers generals to execute in all the prisoners of war you have, or Jews. Yeah, apparently Rommel took that message, read it, tore it up, and threw it in the trash.
One of the other things I think I remember from the movie was, and we kind of a little bit talked about this, was he got that message from Hitler, like, don't retreat a millimeter. You cannot retreat. You have to stay there. And he's like, wait, this is a waste of men. We need to regroup. Let us back up. Have him send that message again to make sure it was correct.
Yeah, absolutely send it again. Yeah. Because, like, right before that, I was talking about, like, okay, this battle lost, but if you pull back here, we have the high ground. We could do something. We can fight back and surround it. Okay. What's our rules? Do not move. Just like, we're just gonna die.
Yeah, it's all gonna be for nothing. And then at the end, no spoilers here because people should know kind of what happened. But so he had to commit suicide to protect his family.
Yeah.
So they kind of had him drive off in a vehicle. I haven't researched. I'm not sure if that's really what happened, or is it cloudy, or I don't know what exactly.
I think in the North African book said he committed suicide.
Well, I know he did the tablet thing, the cyanide or whatever capsule. I know that, but I'm not sure if it's like they drove him away and he did in the car, or I don't know.
I don't know. So before that, like when they're talking about the Battle of Normandy, and like it was underneath this under general, and they were just talking about like, well, if I was charged, I would do it here. And the guy was like, I disagree with that, but it doesn't matter. This guy's in charge, and this is what he's gonna do. That's stupid. And it just kept going on, like, they're right, we need to do this, this, this. And like, nope, Hitler doesn't want to do that. So, I think my favorite part around that area is, like, I think there's a secretary of the general, secretary to Hitler, called up the older general with Rommel right there asking him for advice. The first thing he suggests that the division he had, like, that was just waiting for an attack that wasn't going to come, bring that over to help. And Hitler, like, no, what else you can do? Well, let us retreat so we can reform. No, what else can you do? Well, you can surrender. And there you go, it just basically like, well, after this, you're going to be in charge. Like, yeah, you're going to lose your command over that. Yeah, well.
Wow. Oh.
And, like, yeah, it's just like, you're like, well, this is what we need to do. If you don't want to do that, then surrender.
All right, so thinking about this movie, what you're doing Iron Crosses, so out of 5 Iron Crosses, what would you give this?
Decisions. First off, like, it wasn't quite the movie I thought it was. I thought it had more war aspects to it, but that was more like just a flash here and a flash there.
Right.
So, but it was a really good version of like what Rommel's life was like. So, out of that, I think I'll go with 4 out of 5.
So 4 Iron Crosses?
4 Iron Crosses out of 5.
Well, I'm going to agree with you. I get a 4-star general. It was a good movie.
Yeah.
Good movie.
With the intro with the British Special Forces infiltrating a German base, killing people, and then trying to retreat. And like, guys, like, did we get them? Like, are you idiots?
All right.
All right, soldiers, you will shape up and you will listen, because we are now going to talk about Sun Tzu and the art of war. Attention!
All right, so in the Sun Tzu book, we are on terrain. So it looks like we're going to finish up the next episode on terrain, and we'll go to another chapter. We're going to hit 24, 25, and 26. We were thinking about going further than that, but looking at 27, 28, 27 to 31, they seem to kind of go together. So we'll hold off next episode and talk about those because it looks like they kind of group together. So this one might be a very short one. So 24, the general who advances without coveting fame and retreats without fearing disgrace, whose only thought is to protect his country and do good service for his sovereign, is the jewel of the kingdom.
Or at least it should be. Was it really in Rommel's case?
Right. One of the things I kind of get from this is kind of going back to That's New, about breaking off.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
You know, you don't have to stay in the fight. There may be reasons why you want to retreat.
That's true, yeah.
You just don't have to keep advancing. We're never going to retreat, advancing. No, there's times where, you know, you do want to retreat, get regrouped, or you're setting the enemy up for something. If you just keep thinking, I'm going to go forward, I'm going to go forward, I'm going to go forward, you know, you're not thinking tactically.
Yeah, you end up going like, oh, I want to shoot these guys and wipe them out because it would be cool. You're like, maybe.
But then all this other stuff's going to take them out.
Yeah, or that might not be the best use of your time, so you might want to look at other stuff.
So you can actually think about, I'm going to retreat these guys back, entice these guys to come over. These other guys over here can take them out. Yeah. So that's kind of what I get from this is don't be afraid to back up. You don't have to always keep going forward. It's kind of what I get from that one.
Yeah. Or like if you plan on advancing, like be willing to advance without fame, or like, yes, I'm going to sort of wipe these guys out, because it may not be worth it to wipe those guys out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying with the shooting thing. Yeah, I want to go up here because, yeah, here's my hero in here. And I want this like in real life, this hero did it. I want this hero to take that out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it may not be prudent, you know, you're just doing it because because of that hero. Because that, you know, and I can see what you're saying about, you know, that you want this unit to take out the tank. Cause, woohoo, they took it out, yeah. But is it going to help you?
Yeah.
All right, so 25. Regard your soldiers as children, and they will follow you into the deepest valleys. Look on them as your own beloved sons, and they will stand by you even unto death. Okay, so basically we got to cuddle our little miniatures, tell them how good they are, good son. No. I don't see this one applying.
That's why you lose.
That's why you lose. No, you didn't kill Charlie. No, you killed Charlie. John, no. So no, I don't see 25 applying in miniatures game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot harder. The best I have is like, don't just sacrifice stuff just because willy-nilly.
Take care of your miniatures. Maybe that's what it means.
Yeah.
Okay, this one I want to say, take care of your miniatures. Protect them, put them in a carrying case, you know. Okay, that's what I'm going to take from this. Protect your miniatures. Sun Tzu says, protect your miniatures.
I'm taking from it like, well, treat them as like people, and don't just have them do something stupid just because. Like, why did you have your 3 guys assault that tank? I thought it would be funny.
All right, so let's get to I think this is the last one. Yep,
Yeah.
until next time. Okay, 26. If, however, you are indulgent, but unable to make your authority felt, kind-hearted, but unable to enforce your commands, and incapable, moreover, of quelling disorder, then your soldiers must be likened to spoilt children. They are useless for any practical purpose. So, don't spoil your miniatures.
I see that as like, yeah, that's what happens when you just roll nothing but 1s and 2s. It's like, okay, leadership test, 1. Get back in the tank. Like, nope, you've been mean to your guys. They don't care.
Yeah, so I don't see this one as applying too much to miniature warfare.
Yeah.
Real life, yeah, I can see how that could work, but for miniatures, they're going to do what you want.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
except for those motivations.
Like
But there's no way you can control. You can be as nice as you want to him. You can be as mean as you want to him. You can ignore him. It's just what the die says.
Yeah.
So in this case, I don't see it applying. So next time, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things we will talk about, and this seems to apply more to miniature warfare. All right.
Sounds good.
And now for something completely off topic.
All right, so we've played about 5 board card games or whatever lately in the last couple weeks. One of them was we played what's called Pitch TV Edition, where basically we all work at a TV station. We're trying to come up with TV shows for like early morning, afternoon, stuff like this, and one person's CEO. And basically you have 3 cards. It was like characters, a plot, and then a twist.
Yeah.
And you put these different cards together. So one character may be a yellow monster, a cartoon boy, a family, and you choose one of those, and then we have a plot, like trying to assassinate on a cruise ship, and you choose that second one that you want to put with that, and then a plot twist, which I can't remember some of the plot twists.
Through time.
Yeah, through time. Yeah, very good. With ray guns or something like this. Yeah. And so you put these 3 cards together. So you might have a family on a cruise ship through time, moving through time. And so you have to come up with a title for that. And then everybody turns in a title, turns in CEO, CEO mixes them up. And then those that did not put a show in gets to vote for the show they think should go in that slot. They're comical because you try to make them funny. It's not a serious thing. You just try to make it funny.
I guess it depends on your group, what they like, what they think is awesome, or they think is funny.
Yeah. Sometimes you get cards that you just can't think of a title, and then sometimes you get analysis paralysis because you're like, this is a really good combo. I just can't come up with a title for it. And then, ooh, these just should not be together.
Yeah.
We're not even going to go down that route.
And then sometimes you come up with a title that's a joke, and then the only people in your group that does not get the joke are the people who's voting.
Right, yeah, because whoever did not put a show in gets to vote, and they don't know whose show that is that's being said right now, because you're voting for one that you like, but you don't know who put that show in.
Yeah.
And then if your show gets voted in, you get money, and then you try to keep your show going year after year where you get more money. And basically at the end, whoever has the most money wins the game. We normally play one round where everybody's CEO wants. And I enjoy it every once in a while.
Yeah,
it's not one I would bring out all the time.
Yeah, but I think if I want to play it again, I would like to play it longer. I think we kind of quit a little early. Like, okay, now I'm beginning to understand it. Game's over.
Yeah. Well, it did take a while to go. What did we have, 6, 7 people playing?
Yeah, something like that.
Because all these chairs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We had about 7 or 8 people playing. No, I think it was 6.
6.
A couple people came later. So
6.
That took a while to go through that because there is that time. In this game, if you have your cards, you need to be planning ahead. It isn't, I'm going to wait. I'm going to do a show and then try to come up with a title. When you have those cards, you need to immediately, when it's not even your turn or whatever.
I'm not so sure about that because there's also, when the CEO pitches a show, you can also put restrictions on there. And a lot of times, like, this is a good show, but I can't use it because of the restrictions. So, but if I take this out and put this in, now I can use it. Now that I come up with a new title.
Well, one of the things is you're like, well, why wouldn't you put a show in every time? There may be those restrictions like you can't have comedy. So that each card has a little symbol on it.
Yeah.
Like action, comedy, violence, drama, sci-fi. I can't remember some of the others. If your card that you're using, that one of those 3 cards has a symbol on, you can't
Well, it depends on what
bid that show. Or put that show in and CEO says, no, I don't want that. Could also say it has to have.
Yeah.
And so, but for people that may be wondering, well, why wouldn't you put a show in every time? The only way to get new cards is if you do not put a show in.
You get 3.
So you're going to have to pass because you're running out of cards.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got this one show left. I have no other cards to choose from. I'm going to pass on this one so I get some more cards to try to make some new shows. Yeah. And then that's how you get the new.
And if everyone passed, we just found this out in the rule, the CEO gets to pick people like, put in this kind of card, you put in that kind of card, you put in that kind of card. And And as a group, we come up with a name for that show.
Yeah.
And the CEO gets the money.
Yeah, he actually pulled in pretty good. I think it was like 4th season for him on that
show. It went for a while. And
yeah.
the thing that sucks is just like the people he picks lose a card and they do not get that card back.
Yeah, that sucks.
What's your other reason why you don't want to stack them? Like, okay, I got all my cards to sit my name shelves. Yeah, I want you to give me.
That's if you. Well, yeah, you're saying it like give me what were they? Pink, blue, and
yeah.
What was the other color? Yellow.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I want a yellow card from you, a pink card from you, and a blue card from this person.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you got an extra one that you won't lose one of your shows you created.
Yeah, he can see that. So if he knows, it's like, you have no extra pink except for the ones of your shows.
Well, I don't know. He can't see what cards you have. He can't see what cards you have. He can maybe see the length, but if you stack them all together, he can't see. Because the kind of let people know the 3 cards are different lengths, so they stack on top of each other, so you can kind of read each card in a line.
I don't know if what cards you have is secret. I know your money is secret.
Well, you don't reveal. Like I got a blue card, they're upside down.
Well, I think you might reveal like okay, you have that many of those cards. Because you got to know because if you don't have a blue card, you can't ask you for a blue card.
Well, say I want a blue card. I don't have one. And then he goes, okay, well, I want to. I mean, I don't think that's ever happened. This is like the first time. Because normally, if it gets to that last person and nobody's put a show in, they'll put a show in. If they can, because they don't have to worry about it. They won the money.
Yeah.
All right, so another one we played was I'm the Boss.
That was interesting.
That was, it was basically a screw 'em game. Basically, you just screw each other over, and you're trying to, it was the most money. Just another one. The most money at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And you were buying, like, you had families or something, and you were buying shares of, I don't even know what you were buying shares for. I just saw, this has 4 shares, and these shares worth $2 million. This is worth $8 million. I need this many people in the family to go. Boom.
Yeah, they're like, when we talk about family, there's like a group of family, or I forget what the word is, like Kennedys, Clintons, a family that.
Oh, there was like one sounded like Hogsworth. It was like Wartworth or something like
But
that.
they talk about wealthy families,
right?
Like Kennedys, those people, a family that has a lot of money,
right?
And I think you're purchasing like land or a development or a company.
I have no idea.
But the thing is, to purchase each company, like you need to have sometimes like 3 members of this family or 3 members of 3 different families.
And they would tell you which families you had to choose.
For each section, yeah.
So it'd be like A, B, C, D, E families. You had to have somebody from B and somebody from D family. And somebody had to have those cards, or you could have them.
Yeah. Everyone started with like the head family member, which you would never lose that unless someone steals it.
Yeah.
But you can, because normally when you play cards and use them for the shares, most cards just go away, but the head of the family stays there with you.
Right. So that's why those are the ones you want to steal.
Yeah.
I found that out.
But it takes 3 cards to steal those.
Yeah. Well, I had 9. I kept drawing them.
Well, and you just so happen to use yours after everyone else stole each other's.
Yeah. So on that one, I won by, it was like $0. Next person had 20
the guy
million.
who owns the game got $0.
Next one got like 20 million, then it went 40 million, and I had 60 million.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was not my type of game.
It wouldn't normally be my type of game, but when things start go flying by, it was fun.
Well, it is. Oh, also, I guess we should let people. It's a lot of negotiating.
Yes.
Like, okay, I'm missing this family member. I'm going to say, like, I need a B family member. And there's 2 people that have a B, and they'll say, well, you're going to get $12 million for this. I want $3 million of it, and you can use my person. No. The other person that goes, no, I'll do it for $2 million. And so you get this negotiating, and then you put a coin down, and somebody else go, no, I'm the boss. Now you're negotiating with me.
Yeah.
And so that whole deal's gone, but that chip's on that person now, and he's worth $2 million. And then they're stealing other people's. There's no turn order. Yeah. It's just you just do whatever you want.
Just make deals, and you need to do your deals quickly.
Yeah.
Like,
so
this is a game I will play once in a while.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll ever play it again, but
That's like-
it definitely would be every once in a long while for me.
Hey, you don't want to play with people who get angry easily.
Oh yeah, because they could be negotiating, have it perfectly planned out and ready to go, and you go.
You're like,
do the countdown. 3, 2, I'm the boss. No, so their deal's gone.
Yeah. Of course, there's like counter spells or stops.
Oh, the stops, yes.
Yeah, and there's a couple times it's like, yeah, I'm still in this. You go like, no, you're not. Stop.
And the other people played stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yep. So I'm the boss. We also played Bull in a China Shop.
Yeah, this is the second time I played the game, and
Basically, you have you can go up to $2. So with that $2, you can buy a piece of china, and there's like 3 different colors with a value on it. Like I think like 3 to 7,
8.
Oh, you're right. It does go up to 8. Like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. Yeah. One of the colors, either red, green, or blue, and then you spend your buck to buy it. Or you could take a bull, which tells you what china is going to break that you have. And then you start losing those pieces of china, but you gain a buck.
So you can buy again.
Yeah. And the most you can have is $2. So if you have $2, you have to buy a china. It's not that you could just keep taking bulls.
Yeah.
So
And if you have no money, you have to take a bull.
you have to take a bull. And at the end of each round, you have a choice. It's like the most of each color, the least of each color. So you look at the biggest points of your red, blue, and green, add those together. That's the points you got for that round. Or least of each color, the lowest points of each color, all of your cards, and then one color. So you have 4 rounds. Once you fill in one of them, like let's say I take the highest of each color. Once I do that, I cannot choose that category again for the next 3 rounds.
Yeah. So at the end, you have all 4 of your categories filled up.
Yep.
That's a game, like, I don't think it's for me. Because I just feel constrained a lot of times. Because it just feels so much like, well, I really don't have much of a choice. I have to do this.
Yeah.
Don't have much of a choice. Can I do this?
It's one of those that light games that just kind of just sit back and play because you're going to lose most of your china. You're going to you may have 5 china. By the time the round's over, you may have 2 left, or 1, or none.
5?
You're gonna.
I never got the 5.
Oh, and you do have like that one time where you can pass.
Yeah, and it's the thing about that. The one time I'm going to pass. Usually the situation is so bad that I pass, and then other 3 people are like, pass. And I'm like, well, I'm just stuck as before. So the best time to use it is when no one else is probably going to pass. And I don't know. I just after 2 times, I don't think I like it.
Yeah, this is probably another one of those games. Don't play with an angry person because you're going to lose your china, and there's going to be times where I don't want to do any of this, so I'm going to play my free pass once per game, free pass. And it still comes back to you, and you still have to do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Not a fan of that.
All right. Another one we played was Time's Up, and we did the title recall, which is like titles of TV, movies, books, songs.
Yeah.
I think is what it was. I don't think there was musicals. Was there? Oh, I think there was.
A couple of musicals.
Yeah. And it's kind of password at first a little bit.
Password.
Then charades and noises.
$25,000 pyramid. That's the one I think of when playing it.
Yeah.
At least the first round.
This one I enjoy, but it's definitely I think better with at least 6 people.
Yeah.
So you'd have 3 different teams because I don't think 4. I don't know. I think you could do it, but I don't know if it'd be as fun.
Yeah. He's probably like 6 or 8 people, and the game was funny because like. Sometimes, like, you have a title of a book. Some people don't know what that book is about, and they try to act out or tell you about the plot of the book. Other people just go try and just describe ways to get you to say the name of the book.
Right. And then there's those ones where you're like, I have no idea what this is. Everybody else at the table knows.
Oh, yeah. Like when we played, like, one person have never heard of the Honeymooners.
Yeah. And they got honeymoon. Just couldn't get the ers on there.
It was going like...
And that one was Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. Yeah. Wow. Trying to get somebody to say that for the first time. But
if you don't know that song. which
Right.
I didn't. I was like,
It's fun. You go, what song is that? All of us break out into that song.
I was like, am I in the Twilight Zone?
Well, what's nice about this game is you go that first round where you can't pass. You have to try to get them to say that, but you can say anything except for like versions of the word and all this. But each round you play with the same card, so it isn't new cards come into play. So you get to learn what's in there. So it finally got to be like Rhapsody in Blue. We just pointed at this person because he kept saying Rhapsody in Blue for us.
Yeah.
Like running out of time, Rhapsody in Blue. So every time Rhapsody in Blue came up, we just pointed at him. So that was the clue for Rhapsody in Blue.
Yeah. that was a fun game. I'd like to play that more.
Yep. All right, and the last one was, and I guess there's a couple expansions, Epic Spell Wars of the Battle Wizards.
Duel at Mount Skullfire.
So that's the expansion we played.
No,
That's
the full title.
Okay.
The thing is, like, the game is like you're making like spells.
Right.
They have 3 parts. I just realized looking at the box of it, the box has like the title has 3 sections. That the one part is written in one way, the second part is written in another way, the third part is written differently. So Duel at Mount Skullfire is the third. So that's how I figure out that's just the full title, which goes with how wacky this game is.
Yeah. And it's another screw 'em game.
It's another screw 'em game.
Because you make your spells to beat up other wizards,
Yeah.
to knock them down out of the game, and basically you win the game if you survive. If you're the survivor, you get a chip.
Yeah.
So you're the lone survivor. If you get 2 of those chips, you win the game.
Yeah. So yeah, you're trying to survive twice, and the thing is, like, once you die, every turn you miss your turn, you get cards like dead cards, which means the next time you play the game or play a round, you start the game more powerful.
Right.
So if you lose really, really early, and everyone takes forever to finish up, next round you're going to be really, really, really powerful.
Yeah, so this is I don't know, this is another one of those, I don't know, it's not my style. It's not one I, like,
Yeah, it's not my style, and it has a lot of troller humor.
Yeah.
It really doesn't agree with me. And the art style is not something I
I didn't like the art either, really. Yeah, so this would be one, I don't know, I'd probably play it again, but reluctantly.
Yeah, I think I'd rather not.
I'm the boss, I'm kind of done with that game. But if everybody wants to play it, I'll play it.
Yeah,
this one, all right, let's play it. You know, I will do it again, but I just, basically in the game, and I didn't do too bad. I almost won there at the end. I almost got a chip. I just, these cards look good. And I just put this spell together. I just started looking for symbols and tried to get the same symbols together.
Yeah,
boom, boom,
usually-
boom. Okay, this is what spell I'm going to do.
Yeah,
And I almost won.
Yeah. Yeah, get multiple symbols together, make the spells more powerful. And that's the other thing about the game is, like, you can use either 1, 2, or 3 cards.
Right.
And people who spells, because you're making spells, the people who make 1 card spells get to go first.
But they don't do much. Normally.
Yeah, then they're normally, they're weaker. But then people who make 2 card spells go next, then 3 card spells. So on one end, like, you want to make 3 card spells because they're more powerful. But if you are kind of low on life, someone might just use a 1 or 2 card spell, make sure they go first, and then take you out before you get in.
Yeah.
So it does have some interesting strategy to it, but just not my style.
It's not my style either. So we'll see what games we'll play next time. But we got those in. Well, that wraps up another episode of War Journal, Flames of War. Your host, Arthur and Tracy, thank you for listening to this episode. You can find us on iTunes. If you like the episode, please subscribe and leave a positive review. You can find us on Facebook at Flames of War. And please like us. In addition, you can follow us on Twitter at warjournal_FOW. You can also find us on YouTube. Search for Tracy George, Flames of War. You can read Arthur's blog at chaosmagicwizards.blogspot.com. Finally, you can email us at warjournalflamesofwar@gmail.com. War Journal Flames of War is all one word, so no spaces are required. Also, please share the show on any social media of your choice. So, until next time, as always, have a good game.